Hey guys, Sam here, welcome back to another video. Join me once again in my Mark 7 Golf R to talk a little bit around prices at this time. We're currently sort of mid-May, 15th of May today. And I kind of wanted to talk to you about kind of the price I got offered for this car, which really surprised me. And I think a lot of things that could help you if you're looking to potentially sell your car, now is the time to do it really for any car. So yeah, let's get straight into this. So yes, welcome back to another video. I hope you are all well. Now, as I'm talking, I'll put up clips because I did have a fantastic drive in this car the other day. Probably not enough for a full video, but I'll just put some clips as I'm talking. Keep you lot interested anyway. But yeah, some fantastic roads. Same sort of roads that I drove the Audi TT in. Check the video above for that one. Really cracking drive in that car. But yeah, something I wanted to talk about was an offer from We Buy Any Car. A pretty easy one to kind of get an evaluation from. There's a couple, particularly in the UK, that you can kind of get a guesstimate basically on what your car's worth. And obviously in this period of time there are issues with computer chip supplies, so new cars are not getting sort of produced as quickly as people would like. Certainly demand outstrips the supply. On top of the fact that new cars are quite expensive, you have the depreciation of them as well. There's a few things, and obviously with COVID slightly getting a little bit better, particularly in the UK, tiny bit, and the sun's coming out, people can get out a lot more. Offices and stuff like that are starting to open. From a commuting purpose, you know, cars are becoming more important basically, and it's all kind of coming to one, and it basically means used cars are actually worth a lot more, and a lot more than I thought actually as well. So to give you my brief perspective, thank you for tuning in and listening to me. If you're not a regular subscriber to the channel, please like, share, subscribe if you do enjoy this content. I paid £24,950 for this car about 4 years ago now, with just over 1,000 miles. So I was kind of like, yeah, if it maybe 16 grand, something like that. That's kind of what I always kind of thought it would be, and I wouldn't ever really want to sell it, because what other car am I going to get as good as this for that kind of money? But I got an offer at this time, and it was just under 20,000, and that's really surprising. I mean, yeah, I have a full VW service history. It's done 32,000 miles. I'm the only owner basically. I got it as an ex-demo, so I know it inside and out. It's well looked after. And yeah, so over 4 years to only cost you sort of 5 or 6 grand is pretty cheap. Bear in mind, I've seen like lease deals for like, if you want to get a Golf GTI or something like that, one of these, you're paying that for 2 years, and certainly a little bit less miles than what I've done on this. So yeah, that was a real surprise to me. And it could also be a good thing for you as well, because if you're looking to sell, now is the time to sell. Unfortunately, on the flip side of that, if you need a car and you don't have a second car, buying a car is obviously going to be expensive too. So if I sold this car for that amount of money, to buy a new car, whatever that would be, it would have its premium on it as well. So it's sort of like, it just negates itself. Now, a solution to that, if you can afford to do it and you're in a position to be able to do it, is potentially sell your car now while the market's hot. It's going to be hot probably for another month, maybe 2. And when it inevitably dips again, sort of October, November time, that's probably the time to buy a replacement potentially. And you could potentially make thousands of pounds in the process of kind of the swap. So that's quite interesting. It's quite unique times in the world and in the car market as well. So that's really cool, really surprising. And again, another sort of thumbs up for the Mark 7 really. I think these Golfs are just absolutely brilliant, and it shows that you can use them, you can have fun. And this hasn't just sat on my drive with 10,000 miles on it over 4 years. I have driven it, I daily drove it before coronavirus sort of kicked off and I was working from home. Yeah, so that's really surprising, and I think it's good news for you lot as well if you were in that position. So that's kind of what this video was about. So yeah, that's basically it. Will I sell it? Again, like I said, I will probably need a car at some point to do something. And if I look at the bigger picture in the world, will I need a car for the next 10 years, a petrol powered car? The answer is probably yes, in which case, why couldn't it be this car? Why not? It does absolutely everything, so why not just keep it for the long term? And it will still probably be worth something at the end of in the end of that time anyway, and it would save me the faff of sort of going trading, buying a new car, all this kind of crap. So that's always a good thing. And actually, recent drives as well, the Golf 8R, the GTI Club Sport, and even my friend's Audi TT yesterday, this is like driving up there to see those experiences is fantastic. And that's what I want from cars. I love my cars. and I love the experiences, and I don't necessarily want that experience by just buying a new car every 5 seconds, because financially it just doesn't make sense. So yeah, that kind of that's kind of my thoughts at this time. But then at the same time, maybe I don't need a car. Maybe my life might turn out slightly different, and potentially maybe it could be the end for this one. But yeah, we'll have to see how things go the next couple of weeks. But yeah, interesting times, and hopefully a positive video for you lot, because you might have been sitting there sort of like the end of last year, where the market was absolutely to nothing. Like, yeah, this car probably would have been worth about 5-6 grand less. And I remember checking on Auto Trader, and I was seeing like Cayman S's for like £29,000, and I was seeing like GTI Club Sport S's for like 26 grand. And both those cars are now 10 grand more, because the market's changed. So really interesting times, and you might now be able to turn your fortunes around, get out, get an extension for your house, do whatever you want with the money, go on holiday if you can, or travel the UK if you want to try and do that. So yeah, that's kind of what this video was about. And I hope you enjoyed the clips as I've kind of been talking, because those roads were amazing. Even though it was drizzly and wet, this car was great. The one thing it did remind me of, though, is that my friend who'd got brand new brakes on his TT, they were so much better than mine. So maybe this car needs a little bit of a once over now. It's 4 years old. Maybe new discs and pads, decent service, who knows. I'll have to see, but nonetheless, really, really fun, and really great to see those cars kind of back to back as well. And yeah, that was a really good experience. So fantastic to try that, and I hope you enjoyed it on the channel. But listen, thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your week. Hopefully this video has been informative and useful to you, and if you didn't know about what's going on in the car market, maybe you might have a little bit more of an understanding, and you might want to get yourself a quote as well from wherever you want to get a quote from, and you might be pleasantly surprised, like I was, because that's quite a few £1,000s more than I could ever thought, particularly with something that's easy. You just go there, give it to them, yeah, no questions asked. Well, not no questions asked, but you know, it's a lot more simpler process, safer process in that regard. I did sell one car of We Buy Any Car before, my first ever car back when I was 18, and I actually got about £35 for it, because my car, it was well, as I drove it for a year back and forth to uni, it had 80,000 miles on the clock, which is not too bad for like a 10-year-old car at the time. And when I went to We Buy Any Car to get rid of it at the end of the year, they said it'd actually done 220,000 miles. So they'd only offered me about 40 quid for it. So that's a funny story on that one. So yeah, full circle, and yeah, see what happens. But yes, let me know your thoughts in the comments if you've got a car and you're thinking along the same lines. On the flip side of it, it's a fantastic time of the year. You know, things are opening up again, and you can now really enjoy the car that you've sort of been sitting and holding on to, waiting to get out there for that fun drive. So it has that advantage on both sides. Whatever you decide to do, you're in a win-win situation at the end of the day. But thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed those clips as well as I was talking. Subscribe, like, share for plenty more content to come. And yeah, drop me a message on Instagram if you do have a car that you think that I talk about on my channel, and you'd like to allow me to have a short drive on it, you know kind of what I'm about. Yeah, drop me a message. We can have a little chat, and we can go from there. But that's on Instagram. That can be in the description below to click on that. Thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day, fantastic rest of your week, and I'll see you again next time. Cheers, guys.